Hey guys, welcome to Titans of Tabletop. Today we are doing episode 3 of the DM's Quest Log, and today we will be talking about the Goat Quest. Hey guys, welcome to Titans of Tabletop, Down and Dirty D&D. I'm DM Dan.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Matt.
And today we are talking about the Gilded Goat Gang quest. And this is one that strikes true to Anthony's young heart. So if you remember in the last one, our Crazed Miner episode, and check it out if you get a chance and follow along. The adventurers kind of took the orb out of the mine. At this point, before they wanted to level up so that the wizard in the group could try to dispel magic on the orb and still in turn save the miners. So they had to do further quests to do such. So Eamon's like, well, I'm going to go hide the orb. He wasn't there that day. We miss him. But over via phone, he said, I want to go hide the orb, like 10 miles outside the city. So through various checks and all, which were failed, the orb got stolen. So it didn't really matter at that point if they level up or not, unless they can find the orb again. But they had decided to still try to level up and then find the orb at the same time, kind of info search. So they went to the tavern, and the tavern again had some rumors. And he had told them that this strange Golden Goat Gang was looking for some assistance with their goat farm. The goats had been found dead in the morning. So they went to the Gilded Goat Gang, and and I keep calling it different things, but it Golden Goat Gang, you can call it whatever you want. Golden Goat Gang, I just wanted like all the G's when I made it. And it was meant to be a funny quest for them. It wasn't meant to be a serious note quest. So they go to the Gilded Goat Gang's headquarters, and they go in, and I describe, and they're all tieflings in there because they're in a tiefling city. And the tieflings all have goat-like horns, right? And they're all wearing circlets with a goat hove in the center. And there was different colors. There was bronze, silver, and gold goat members. And so they wanted immediately, well, gold's the best in their minds. Let's go talk to some of the golds. So they talked to some of the golds, and the one gold guy, you know, every time they were talking to them, I made sure to give it little like they were doing a goat, you know, voice, like goatish. Try to make your voice very goatish. It'll be fun for your players. So we talked to the golden guy, and he brought us out back so they could investigate the bodies, and he was very suspicious about it. And he said, you know, we're hoping that it's, you know, a mountain lion coming down from the mountains to attack, because this was a mountain town. And so they did medicine checks. And through the medicine checks, they revealed that it was not, in fact, done by a creature or animal, that it looked like knife wounds on the goats. And the guy had made a comment, then it's just as we feared, we'll have to take it from here. And the players were like, well, wait a second, we're here to help you. You know, and they were like, oh, no. This has to do with our religion. You guys aren't members. You know, you could always be a member, right? And they said, well, what does it take to be a member? And me as a DM, I wanted to push some of their limits this quest. This is where you test what your players will do. So it's only, remember, it's only the third quest that they have now. So I tested their investigation skills. I tested their, well, it was supposed to be their combat ability, but they snuck past all those minors. And then I wanted to just test how far morally they would go. And I said that you can join, but you have to go through a ritual that involves branding of a goat hoof on your buttocks, right? So they all didn't want to do it. They were like, "Oh, goat hoof, we don't want a goat hoof." So Eamon, congratulations, Eamon wasn't at the game that day. He got chosen, and I kind of tried to incorporate it into his backstory. He wasn't very too happy about it. But he got branded, and I rolled how well he got branded, and it was not a pretty sight. So he did not get branded well.
If I remember right.
If any branding would be well. But
if I remember right, didn't he get hit like twice? Like he jumped or something.
I think he got the worst of it all because it sealed his buttocks crack, sealed it. It was a funny game.
Didn't he get something too?
What's that?
Didn't he get something too?
He got a bronze circlet, so he became a bronze hoof. Is what I called him. I called him a bronze hoof, a silver hoof, and a gold hoof. And he still is a bronze hoof too. So Eamon, if you're watching this, you're still a bronze hoof. You never did anything with it, but you still are. So he was able to get some information out of them, and they kept preaching about this book they have. And the book was all in riddles. It was all in rhyme, and they didn't quite understand it. But apparently there was a god that comes and he does a goat apocalypse. Every few hundred years, and that's what they're fearing now, that this goat killer god is coming back for the goatopolis, and so they're like, well, at this point they were almost ready to bail on the quest, like, well, we really don't care about the goats, but they pressed on. They found out that the members there had suspected that the Order of the White Wolf was involved, and it was a mansion short ways out of town. So they were like, okay, well, let's go. So they go to the Wolf Guild, and this is, now I really wanted to push their limits because they didn't want to do the branding, but these two specifically were like, you know what, I'm joining, I screw the goats, I'm joining the Order of the White Wolf, right? They're thinking
don't
it's
judge a book by its cover.
Yeah. Yeah. I might name that video that now. Don't judge a book by its cover. But so they go to the Wolf Guild, and these two are amped. They're like, we're joining.
Oh, yeah,
so there was guards at the front of the mansion, and the guards didn't want to let them in, and they were like, well, we want to join. And they were like, oh, well, they're actually doing a joining ceremony right now. I didn't know you were here to join. Go on in. And when they go in, I described that there is this, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen that movie directed by Apocalypto.
I haven't seen that movie.
Never seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
Great movie. Basically, I had a guy that I described just as that Mayan. It's the crazy guy that's doing the, shaking of the head. And he was dancing around a dead goat that someone had just sacrificed to join. So, they wanted to join, and I told them, well, there's rituals involved. And at this point, they're like, oh, what do we got to get branded? And I was like, yeah, you need to get branded with a wolf paw, which they weren't too upset about. So these two both got branded with a wolf paw. His definitely was not good. His was even worse than Eamon's.
No.
And he lost some, I think it was a crit 1 on getting a good branding. And
I think it got infected and everything, didn't it?
I'm still looking for the cure. I have the ability.
No, you have a different thing you're looking for, a cure, which we're going to get to. So they took the branding fine, and they said, well, is that it? Are we in? And I'm just like, I just got to push them. And I said, nope, that's not it. I said, you got to dance in the blood of the goat to this ritualistic music. And they were like, okay, sure, fine. I think they were a little reluctant, like, we don't want to dance. Really? We don't want to dance in the blood. But they did it. They weren't completely reluctant, trust me. So they danced in the blood. And I'm like, okay, like, I thought maybe that would stop them. So they say, is that it? And I say, nope. There's more rituals, right? So I say,
more rituals.
I say, you gotta sacrifice these goats. So they're on either end of this platform, and the two goats come in, and at this point they're really reluctant. They don't want to kill a goat, even though they kind of at this point could care less about goats. They didn't want to be that kind of person that would sacrifice a goat. So they were reluctant, and we do a little thing, a game, in our game, called the evens or odds game. So if you're on the fence about something like, well, should I do it? Should I not? We say, okay, roll a d20. If you roll evens, you do it. If you roll odds, you don't. It's a nice little quick decider.
And it's
so
always
when you
fair.
get players that like want to really sit there and think it out, just say, hey, do you want to play the evens or odds game? Right? It works. It has really worked. Really great
well.
in our game.
Sometimes we get what we want.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't.
So they play that game a lot because they're like, well, let's leave it up to the dice, and I love that. I love leaving up to the dice. My whole world is built pretty much on leaving it up to dice rolls, and a little bit of imagination as well. So they rolled for that. Like I think only one roll. You didn't do you did like a group roll, and it was they want to kill them. So Kevin says I kill my goat first, right? And I say that a lot of people are cheering. You know, there's a bunch of maniacs in this mansion, like just around, like dancing in blood, and they're cheering. They're maniacs. Yeah. And so Anthony's like, well, you know, I'm thinking about killing my goat. And Kev says, well, I yell out, you know, make love to the goat. And that's a nice way of putting it. He said the other way of it. He said, F the goat. And I say, well, you know, the crowd just cheers because you just killed this goat.
Don't forget,
and now you're cheering for him to do this to the goat. They're just going wild. And Anthony's like, I'm not going to do it. And then, you know, I say, do you say that in game? He says he does. You know, people start getting mad and booing him. So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to leave it up to the evens or odds. He rolled the evens or odds game, whether he would make love to this goat. And when I rolled it, I said, Anthony? And he's like, yeah. I said, you pull down your pants. Because he got that roll. Something he's not too proud of, but it was hysterical at the moment. And then I thought, well, wait a second. I never said if it was a male or a female goat. So I said, all right, wait, there's a new evens or odds rule. We got evens or odds to see if it's a male or female. And it turns out it was a male goat. And he was so disgusted with this guy. He's like, I just at that point put it out of his misery. And I made him roll a Constitution save because he had made love to this goat.
Male goat.
This male goat. He doesn't discriminate when it comes to gender with his goats, but I
had to put it like that.
Yeah. So after that, I made him roll a DC con save, and he failed that as well. So I concocted a disease called goat rash, which I believe it's -2 to charisma.
Yep.
So he now has goat rash, which And I got this idea actually through Drunkens and Dragons. So if you don't watch his channel, go over and check him out. I forget what video it was, but he was talking about how he played a game with a cursed sword that, you know, every so often he'd have to roll a D100, and that's how much more percent goat he would become. So I thought, great, like, he's got this goat rash, I'll make him roll. So he only rolled once so far, and he's got something that's, we'll get in a later video, that's kind of staving off the transformation, but he did have to roll once, and he's 27% goat now.
I thought it was 23.
No, I think it was 27.
I think you're right.
He hasn't written down whatever percentage,
Yeah.
but it's in the 20s. So, which isn't too bad.
But
He's
it's
got
bad,
a hoof
though.
or two, but
Which I'm working on.
he's working on it. He's working on it. But anyway, we digress. After that, I couldn't push them any further than that. So I was like, welcome aboard. You guys are aboard. And everybody's partying. They're starting to, even these guys are like, he, especially him, he's like, give me a drink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Started drinking with them. And then, okay, let's get back to investigating if they're really doing it, right? So they investigate a bookshelf, okay? And they find a book, very similar to the books that the goat people had.
Mm-hmm.
But this looks like it was an original book, I told them. And as they flipped through the book, they could tell that the book and the poem and all the riddles and rhymes, it was actually a children's book that these maniacs were taking as a lure, you know, taking as like a Bible almost.
Like a cult, pretty much.
But it was just a children's book from long ago to teach kids, you know, to stay in bed at night or something like that, or the goat eater will come and get you and your goats.
Yeah.
So all that they went through, all that pushing the limits was just for a child's book. Nice twist to your players. They were blown away. They couldn't believe it. But that was not the end. They wanted to search now. They were kind of a little PO'd too with both guilds, you know, because of this. And so they went further in to search for more loot and just kind of rob them and be gone of them. And Anthony goes in to a storage closet.
Of course, a closet.
And he's like, well, I want to, you know, do my tinder and flint. And he rolled a perception with that. And he rolled a natural 1. So what I did for that, this is a good way to, if one of your players gets a natural 1 on their perception, this is a good way maybe of doing something. So I said, he does his tinder and the sparks flew into, you know, the storage area and caught fire. Now, here's another thing I did too after the fire had started. I did what Drunkens and Dragons I learned from as well, which he's just great. You got to check him out. But a timer dice, and we'll talk about timer dice too for the subscribers we have here. But I rolled a timer / danger die to see how bad the fire was. I rolled a d6, and I have a fiery type dice that I use, and it was like a 5. It was like a 4 or a 5, so it just...
For danger, yeah, it's just...
Inferno.
Like
I told him immediately the closet had been engulfed in flames because it was all dry. It was like, I even described before this that it was like an abandoned looking mansion.
Yeah.
So things were dry, and the fire just went crazy. The crazy guy that looked like Apocalypto, which he just had red, you know, paint on him and stuff like that, he fled out the back. Excuse me. And so they escaped with their lives barely. I think you barely escaped.
Barely. They had
A couple of us tried to roll to break down the door to save him. We all failed. You know, but little by little we chipped away at the door. He was able to get out.
That was a horrible.
We had to revive him through some means. And yeah, so that was after that they decided, okay, well, that was kind of a good thing. Now that guild is gone, maybe they won't be harassing the goats anymore. So let's at least try to claim some reward.
Well, let me just say that those wolves deserved it, and I'm glad I burned down their church.
Yeah, so they go back to the Golden Gilded Goat Gang headquarters and say, hey, your problem is solved. Or I know, before that they were like, well, let's see if any of the remaining guys attack the goats. So they waited for nightfall, and there was this dog. And I kept when they were originally in the goat guild, I kept having this dog follow them around. They weren't catching the hint.
No.
But this dog was in, it's a little dog miniature, I said, and the dog follows you guys out. And they just didn't think much of it. Here it was a druid.
I'm surprised I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, and the druid was part of the wolf gang, and he was changing into a dog, and at night he was changing back into himself.
If you don't remember, actually, we were kind of oddly, like, suspicious about the dog. Remember?
Yeah.
We thought something up with the dog, and you're like, I don't know.
I think you rolled only one of you rolled a perception on it, and you
And
didn't
we
pass
failed.
the DC. But only one of, I forget, maybe it was you that was suspicious of the dog. But,
everyone else was like, it's just a dog.
so they wait until nightfall, they see him transform, but they see that he's reluctant to kill the goat. Like, he's like, is this really what I'm about? And Anthony, because of that, was reluctant to attack because it was only him and I believe a side NPC that had a good enough stealth to get back there.
Yeah. I was watching him in stealth though.
He was watching him stealth, and he made like a noise though. He made like some sort of noise,
And startled.
and the guy got startled, turned into a bird, and flew away.
I think
now I can't, let you guys know what was up with that druid because these guys are still involved in that game. That druid still is present in that world, and may or may not have a part to play later on. But that is pretty much how it ended. They ended up going into the Golden Gilded Goat Gang in the morning. The reward was small because it wasn't really they didn't fight. I think the people trying to flee the building, they were like, as Anthony was escaping, he was kind of fighting his way back. And maybe I think you took one or two of them out.
I think I did, yeah.
With
the help of the fire, though.
With the help of the fire, because they were on fire, like, coming at him, like, but they got, I think it was like, you could either choose 25 gold or 3 goats.
And I think they
Anthony...
they decided I wasn't allowed the goats, so I took the gold.
He took the gold, because we were, like, all leery of him as a group. You know, he's like, I didn't think he'd really do it, yeah, so, but I think you took the gold as well, just because he was traumatized from what he did see with goats. But the people who didn't go in that building took goats, and we actually ended up making our own little goat enterprise, which is a fun little thing you can do with your players on downtime adventures is... They always want to create, well, I know at least my players always want to create some sort of business, some sort of income flow. So we'll go over how I handle income flow and businesses in a later video. But that is how the Gilded Goat Gang went. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and share us. And follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And until next time, I'm DM Dan.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Ant.
And we'll see you later.